The 1960s announced the Wallabies as a force in world rugby. This was the famous John Thornett era, so called after the charismatic Australian skipper. A key component of the team's success was the extraordinary talent of Rob Heming, perhaps the greatest line-out jumper of the amateur era. Heming's amazing journey to Australian colours began as a war refugee in New Guinea, his birthplace, in 1932.
The Japanese invasion during World War II, how did that affect your family?
We were, my mother, my sister and I were on the last boat out of New Guinea before the Japanese came in. Unfortunately, my father was killed. We ended up basically almost poverty-stricken. After quite a bit of hard work, my mother got us a little back flat in Manly. So I do feel that I was almost given paradise. There's no place better.
So you've been in this paradise, Manly, the peninsula, for nearly 80 years.
Yes.
How good is that?
Well, I'm not complaining at all.
And did that lead you into your swimming? I'm told that you were one position away from Australia's relay team to compete at the 1956 Olympics.
I was.
And they went gold, silver, bronze.
Exactly. I was good, but I wasn't good enough. And I turned around and looked for Manly rugby.
Swimming's loss, rugby's gain.
Yes, it was.
You debuted for Australia in the exciting two-test series against Fiji in 1961, playing second row. And you then joined the 61 short tour of South Africa, captained by 21-year-old Ken Catchpole, who would soon make his mark as one of the all-time greats of the game.
Here's Catchpole on a typical blindside move.
You speak of Ken Catchpole with reverence, as do the other Wallaby teammates. How good was he?
Oh, no, he is simply the best. There is no one approaches his ability and his kindness and thoughtfulness, and absolutely tremendous. I found that when I went to South Africa in '61, that everyone was much bigger than I. I got on the plane, I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I said to myself, I'll be back. And I knew I had to be bigger, stronger, better.
So what did you actually do to build yourself up between 61 and 63 in South Africa?
I did that by being at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Focusing on what part of your body?
In the calf. It was the way I thought to get jumping. And I also used cunning, slip away round the back of the line out, come there late, come there early.
How did you train with your line-out jumping when you were down at Manly playing first grade?
I would clap my hands over the crossbar.
That's unheard of. No one else could do that.
I've got very long arms.
And the first international of the 1963 South African tour provides many samples of good hard play and a lavish taste of what is to come.
So 1963 at Newlands, after we lost the first test, in the second test you were selected alongside Peter Charlie Crittall, the start of a famous second row partnership for Australia.
Peter Crittall, he usually does all the talking for both of us, so I don't know why he's not here. I think Ken Catchpole played an incredible game and we won the match.
Australia meets South Africa in the third Rugby International at Ellis Park, Johannesburg. The Wallabies will create history if they can win, because no touring team has defeated the Springboks in successive tests since 1896. To counter the slow poison of the Springbok forwards, the Wallabies vary their line-out play in their efforts to get a good share of the ball. With the crowd at a fever pitch of excitement, the Wallabies cleave gaps in the Springbok defence. Crittall, number 24, breaks away.
I got the line thrown by Jim Boyce, and I could see Avril Milan. He started to come round. He was at the front of the line-out. I'd purposely gone to the back of the line-out, got it. I tapped it to Peter Criddle. Peter Criddle then ran on and went to Dick Marks. And Dick Marks threw it to John Williams. Just so vivid, so exciting, so tremendous. They'd never been beaten 2 in a row, and when we beat them 2 in a row, and they'd never been beaten at Ellis Park.
What was the social life like on tour?
I'm asked to say nothing about the social life in South Africa. It's not allowed, they said. So, but of course, there are wonderful people there, nice girls who came along, and they were terrific too.
All I can say is that Jim Miller said that he used to keep very close to you. You actually put him up in your garage, didn't you, when he was a young man, trying to make his way?
Yes, well, he might tell it differently. My mother did say that I hope you look after Jim, because he's not going to do too well. So of course, how wrong he was. He's the millionaire or whatever.
How did it work? You were away for nearly 5 months with no income. Is it true to say it was costing you money? You were actually paying to play for your country?
Well, I employed an optometrist. I was sort of paying for him too and everything. So cost was very bad.
And you work a lot harder, longer hours when you get back home after a 5-month tour?
Yes, in the morning I started it at about 5 o'clock, and I ran into the milkman, and the milkman was sort of against the wall, and he thought you were a burglar, and I thought, I said, no, I'm just going to work now.
Just to catch up.
Just to catch up. We were getting $1 a day. That was for our rugby. So it was, my mother said at one stage, it's about time you gave up on rugby because you're not doing so well financially, you know.
We spoke of 1964, the third test in Wellington.
A wonderful game. Everyone played terrifically. You know, it was a record score.
The heaviest defeat ever against Australia. That was basically the 63 side had moved on and showed how good they were.
Yes, that's right.
What about South Africa in 1965? What do you recall at Lang Park? Australia had won the first test and you were going for a series victory, which had never happened for South Africa, losing a series since 1896, I think.
I don't actually remember too much about that because I was punched. I wasn't quite sure where I was.
I can tell you that you won a crucial line out, which helped Australia hold out South Africa. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, afterwards they told me all about it.
There's the full-time siren, the ball in touch, and Australia has won the second test match and the series.
And a proud moment for John Thornett.
Yes, John Thornett was a wonderful captain and just a joy to be with. And so true blue, doesn't matter.
Wallabies, all the 4 previous Wallaby sides. They've all lost on this famous rugby field. There's Stuart Boyce throwing it in for Australia. Purcell, some good work at the line out. Here's quick transfer down the line, and it's out to Lennon. Can he get the ball? He's got it, yes! It's a try for Australia.
The test match against Wales in 1966. Is it true you played most of the game with a broken foot?
Yes. It was certainly true. I don't know how I survived it, but Wales hadn't been beaten for a long time. And when they said that you should go off to me, I said, there's no way I'm going off. So I played about 70 minutes with a broken foot, and we beat Wales. I mean, Wales were the prize of it all.
It's all over. The Wallabies have done it. They're absolutely thrilled.
And the Welsh crowd started to sing I'll Sing Matilda. So whenever I hear the Welsh anthem, I burst into tears, and it was really, they affected me for years. The guys that I played with, I repeat, just the most wonderful of men, really. And some of them are the funniest people in how sweet it was and how wonderful it was.